What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here from GuitarJams.com. Hope you're doing well out there. I've got a little slide guitar review I'm going to give you guys. I haven't been working on it that long, so I like to check in with you guys when I got a little progress to show you and pass it along to you. Also, I've got the links down there for the site and Facebook and all that stuff, but I really appreciate that extra support. I really do. Let's zoom in right now and break this down. Here we go. I'm going to show you what's worked for me the best to start being able to play it. So the first thing would be the action, the distance off of the neck needs to be a little bit higher than a normal electric guitar. So if you only have one electric guitar, it's probably best to mess with this stuff on an acoustic because the acoustic is just naturally higher and easier to play slide. If you do have another guitar that you really want to get into slide, you want to raise the strings up. You might want to have someone help you do it, but that'll really make a huge difference. And then what helped me tremendously was first learning using the open E tuning, which would be just when you strum it open, it's an E major chord. And so that would be E is normal. This goes up a whole step to B. This goes up a whole step to E. This goes up a half step to G sharp. This goes normal, stays the same, and this stays the same as well. That helped me a lot because playing chordal stuff, the major chord, playing the blues, becomes a lot easier, and they're in these cool little boxes. So it helps you get going so you can start to focus on your right hand a bit. The other thing is I'm using my thumb, my index, and my middle finger, and whatever note I'm trying to play, I'm muting the rest. So if I want to hit the D string, my thumb is resting on the low E and the A, and then my other kind of part of my fingers are resting on the higher register, so then all I'm hearing is that D because I'm muting the rest with my right hand. So you're kind of like almost in a claw hammer kind of vibe. If I wanted the A string to pluck, I would hit the A with my thumb, and now I'm muting the top here, index fingers covering that D string right there. See that? I'm covering that. And my thumb is resting on the low E. I can scoot that shape over here. Okay. So you kind of like move your thumb and index in little like two-note clusters. So if you looked at my right hand on that, you'd see I was first on the A and the D string, but then I scooted over to the G, and when I did that, these two fingers moved over a string. You see? So those are some tips. The other thing is we want to be muting the strings lightly with I'm using my middle finger and index finger. There are some guys that just use their index. Some guys use their middle. I'm kind of using both. And you're lightly muting behind the note with the slide. So I'm just lightly touching the strings behind it as a buffer. If I don't do that, you're going to hear a lot more noise. You hear that like ringing out kind of sound. You mute it. Okay, so those are some technique tips. Now I'm going to show you a really cool 12-bar blues kind of riff that you can play. And it's definitely more of a rhythm kind of part with slide. So the one chord is we're going to play an E chord. So we're playing blues in E. And that's the 12th fret right there. And if you just take your slide and put it right over the fret Not pressing all the way down, but just touching it just enough to get the sound. Now we'll mute behind it. I could strum it, but any of the notes along this 12th fret, any of them work. The 4 chord of the blues is going to be on the 5th fret, and it's an A. Same thing. So note, I'm muting behind it. Listen what that sounds like without muting behind it. A lot noisier as opposed to. Now the 5 chord, the turnaround chord, is right up here on the 7th fret. And the 4 chord, and the 1 chord. Okay, so if someone was playing a 12-bar blues for you, you could start by just kind of sliding into the chords. Then the other thing you can do is you could practice just like 2 strings, but any string there is going to work. And then you also have the whole step below as a movement. So if we're in E, or playing an E chord, you've got that 12th fret, but then you also have the 10th fret and sliding in between any of those. It's always going to feel resolved, though, on that 12th fret, but going down and then back up on any of the strings. Watch. See that? So I'm just looking at the... And any of that is... Right? And then I go to the 4 chord. All right, there it was. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. I've also got the next lesson. You can check links for that as well, where I'm going to break down that 12-bar blues riff. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you again real soon. See you later.